In this video, we will see how to conduct a hierarchical cluster analysis in JMP Pro. In our dataset, we have 4 qualitative variables: female, married, loan, mortgage, and we have 3 quantitative variables: age, income, and number of children. So we'll begin by converting our 4 variables into nominal. So we'll click on female, and then I can click on control and select married, loan, and mortgage. We click on this triangle, and we can convert this into nominal. Now we see that these 4 variables have been converted into nominal variables. We'll conduct our cluster analysis using these 4 nominal variables. Go to Analyze, then click on Clustering, and let's click on Hierarchical Clustering. And we should include these into Y. Then as method for calculating distances between clusters, let's choose average. And it's appropriate to always standardize our data, so we'll let this be selected as default option, and let's click on OK. So this gives us various clusters based on the distance that we are willing to tolerate. If we drag this vertical line and move it closer, then we can see we'll have 13 clusters. We move it far, we have 8 clusters. We move it further out, we have 5. Here we have 4, and then we have 3. So depending on the distance we're willing to tolerate, we can come up with a number of clusters. We can also do this using the menu option. Here, if we click on the red triangle and click on number of clusters, let's say we want to formulate 3 clusters. We already chose our distance metric to reflect that, but if we click OK, then now we get our 3 clusters being formulated. So we can also identify these clusters on our data set. We say color clusters. So we see that our 3 clusters are cluster 1, which includes these observations, cluster 2, which includes the green, and then cluster 3, which is the blue observations. And notice, because JMP is dynamically linked, our actions here get reflected on our data set as well. We can also save these clusters into our data. We go over here and we say save clusters. Now if we go back to our data set, we can see that we have these clusters being formulated. Now it is always good to observe the features of our clusters. We can tabulate our clusters. We go to Tables, Summary. This will help us tabulate the various features of our cluster, and we can choose what statistic we want to display and also what features. So let's begin by using our cluster variable as a grouping variable, because we want to split out our summary sets based on our cluster. Let's now select female, married, loan, and mortgage, and click on statistics, and let's get a sum of these because they're all categorical variables. So the sum will tell us how many of each category we have. So click on sum. So we have a sum of these, and let's also see the average of our age and income, and we'll choose mean. So the neat thing about this tabulate summary function in JMP is that we can display various statistics on various data sets. So here what we are asking JMP to do is, based on our cluster analysis, we want to tabulate data which includes the sum of each of these categorical variables, because they're 0, 1. They'll tell us how many males, females, for example, we have. We want to see the average of income and age. We click OK. So now we see that we have 3 clusters being formed. In cluster 1 we have 17 observations. Out of these 17 we have 10 who are females, 15 in total who are married. None of them has our loan, and 5 of them have a mortgage. And we can also see their mean age and income. Similarly, cluster 3 includes all females who have loan, and 5 of them have a mortgage. Cluster 2, on the other hand, includes 6 members. None of them is female, so they're all males. 5 of them are married, and all 6 of them have a loan, and 2 of them have a mortgage. So this is a way in which we can see hierarchical cluster. The advantage of this method is that the user can choose how many clusters they want to form based on the distance that they're willing to tolerate, which separates each of these groups. If we have smaller the distance, then we have more clusters. So this method visually helps us see how the clusters get formulated and how we can choose the number of clusters to include. Now, if we have a large data set, this method can be very time consuming, and also we have some flexibility on the number of clusters we want to choose. But no matter how many clusters we choose, it's always good to see a snapshot of these clusters using the various summary statistics. Now we can tell a coherent story in our data set. So if we were to target a campaign related to all males, we would have cluster 2, which is mainly males, and most of them are married, and all of them have a loan.